one of the most critical factors as to whether you're going to win or lose is going to be the mental side of the game. And the higher the levels that you play at, the more important it's going to be. Obviously, it's important at all levels of the game, but at the higher levels, it's often the biggest difference, because most people have got the skills, they've got the different strokes, but it's the mental side that really separates players. Now, the thing that I want to ram home to you in this video is that mental toughness, whether we're talking about focus and concentration, whether we're talking about decision making, whether we're talking about your ability to control your anxiety and your emotions, they are skills, and those skills need to be developed if you want to improve them. And if you don't train those skills, they're going to get worse. Just like if you don't practice your forehand, it's going to get worse, because all aspects of mental toughness are controlled by different parts of the brain, and by working on them over and over again, you improve the function of those parts of the brain and their ability to do what you're needing to do. And all of the practice principles that we've got apply to mental toughness as well. So if you're trying to improve mental toughness, I'm going to use focus and concentration for this. If you're trying to improve focus and concentration, you need to go on court during your practice sessions and during your matches with the specific intent of being focused. So that is the goal of your practice session. You head out, okay, I'm trying to maintain my focus. You then have to get feedback about performance. So then during your practice session, you have to have that conversation with yourself. You have to become aware if your mind's starting to wander. So you're in the middle of drilling, you stop to grab a ball, and you're getting distracted by something else. You have to bring your focus back. So you have to give yourself feedback about the performance of your focus during that training session, and then you have to work to improve it. You have to go, no, okay, right, okay, and this one, focus. And you literally train the act of being focused in all of your practice sessions and your practice matches, so then when you get into an actual competitive match, you've worked on the skill of being more focused. It's going to be the same thing for something like emotional regulation. You have to go out with the intent of working on your emotional regulation and go, right, I'm not going to get angry at anything I do. I'm going to stay calm if I miss a silly shot. And then you take that from the practice court, then into practice matches, and then eventually it's going to work in full-blown matches. You make a mistake, and instead of blowing up, you're now calm because you've trained it. Now, another aspect to high-level practice is going to be you can only focus on one or two things at a time. So if you're trying to work on different aspects of your technique, just understand that that might not allow you to focus on whatever aspect of mental toughness it is that you're working on. And this is something that I really learned in an interesting way when I was relearning to play left-handed last year. As a right-handed player, I'm pretty calm. I'm a reasonable player as well. But if I miss a simple shot, I don't get annoyed with myself. Okay, right, now refocus on this. With my left hand, I just started learning to play left-handed, and if I was missing a shot, I was just absolutely blowing up and going mental. And the reason that I was doing that was because I was having to think and focus so much on my technique that I was learning that I basically had no resources or brain power left to regulate my emotions, because the part of the brain that kind of regulates your emotions is the part of the brain that deals with focus and concentration. So playing left-handed, I was just going crazy when it didn't make any sense. If I miss a sitter as a right-hander, that's a big mistake because I should make it. If I miss a sitter as a left-hander, I should miss a sitter. It's my left hand. So it's kind of funny, but it just really illustrated to me about the bandwidth side of things. If mental toughness is what you need to work on, that's what you need to work on, and you might have to kind of, dial back on some of the other practice if that's not the most important thing at the moment. And the final thing that you want to consider is that it's going to take a period of time to really train and get your mental toughness up to the level that you need it to be at to kind of stick in matches. If you're the sort of person that just blows up at any mistake at the moment, you can't expect to work on this for a week or for 5 sessions and then expect to do it in the most important match in your life, just like you wouldn't expect to change an aspect of your forehand and do it after a week in the most important match of your life. It does take a period of time to progressively work on this area, make it more and more stable until it's going to stick, just like any other aspect of practice. Now, there is something that could potentially kind of limit how effective this practice is going to be, and that's the underlying function of these brain areas that I mentioned a moment ago. Because focus is controlled by certain brain areas, your ability to regulate emotions is controlled by certain brain areas, decision making, different brain areas. Potentially you might need to do work to train the function in those parts of the brain to really optimize your mental toughness. If that's something you'd like to learn about, I help tennis players to improve performance using brain-based training. It's one of the big elements that we work on. I've created a masterclass that's going to teach you a lot more about it. I'll place the link up there, and I'll place the link down in the description so you can check that out if you are interested. But if you just want to watch another YouTube right now, I've created this video here that's actually going to show you an exercise that you can do to start to train parts of the brain that are really important for focus.